Hello, Emily Haynes of This Yogi Dances here. Happy Thursday. Maybe you were just doing the self massage. I knew as soon as I started talking, the cat would run away. She was just over here. Oh, hey, friend. Oh, the chat is working. Hallelujah. I'm not alone. Yay. Oh, that's so exciting. Thanks for shouting out. But yeah, the cat was just over here. I think she's wanting dinner, and I thought I could sneak her in the frame because I swear people don't believe we have a cat, but we do. Anyways, hi, Emily Haynes here of This Yogi Dances. Welcome to the yogurt. Probably get yourself 2 blocks if you have a TheraBand. That would be great. We're going to do some shoulder stuff, maybe with a TheraBand. If you don't have a TheraBand, it'll work out just fine if you have a strap like something. I'm still working on putting together playlists. Real talk, this week, I was like, I'll probably be motivated to make these new things. And I just was not motivated. The beginning of this week was real emotional, and I just sort of let that happen. So here we are. So it'll be a silent practice this evening, but eventually I will be putting links down below, in theory for Spotify, definitely for Tidal, that you can look up, hook up, and play while we're practicing, if you so desire, if you like practicing with sound. What else did I want to say? There was something else that I felt pertinent. I went into the self-massage I just did earlier feeling real strange because I got really sucked into a movie, and it was a choice on this really, at least in Chicago anyway, today is really cloudy, kind of gloomy. Yesterday it was pretty great. I did a bunch of gardening, at least as much as I could. It was also the new moon, so that felt cool to like move around in some dirt. I found some old seeds from forever ago. Who knows if they'll sprout? I put them in the ground. But yeah, I, for some reason, decided that watching, or at least finishing watching, I started it yesterday, Midsummer was a good idea. Don't ask me why. And I remembered a good lesson for myself, being a sensitive human being, that it not only pays to be conscious of what I'm putting physically in my body through my mouth, even on my skin, but also through these guys and through these guys. Because wow, I was not expecting all of that, and it put me in a really interesting headspace. Which self-massage helped with a little bit. And I'm very much looking forward to this practice with you. So maybe you can also take that in however you like, ingest that however you desire. Just what are you allowing in? And again, that doesn't mean, I feel like sometimes, even with like the practice of yoga or saying that you're a yogi, there's this maybe this idea that you're this really passive person. You just sort of let stuff happen, or it's like c'est la vie kind of attitude, which is definitely not that at all. So coming back to like being aware of what you're ingesting, that's not that you can't stay informed. That's not that you can't still feed and know what's going on in the communities around you, in your own community. But maybe you don't have to have the news on all the time, especially if there's certain things that you find triggering, like a certain person's voice. We won't name names. I just can't listen to it. So bring yourself to your mat, get your props and stuff close. Oh, and since the chat is a thing that's happening, I took my glasses off, so I'll have to come over and squint a little bit. But if there's anything that you want to do, shout that out real soon, and I will squeeze that, work it into our sequence. We're probably gonna hips today. We're gonna shoulders. We're gonna try and hit a little bit of everything, but I feel like twisting might be pretty great today. So on your mat, on probable height, find your way to, and if we can come to the shins today, bring yourself to the shins. If the shins are not happening, any comfortable cross-legged position, being on the floor is not really a thing that's going to happen today. Sit on the edge of a chair. Great. Just get comfortable so we can sit and close the eyes for a moment. If it feels okay to bring the shins together, or the shins to the floor, bring the knees together, put something underneath the butt unless the butt easily comes to the floor. We're talking easy, like no knee pain, no like you get a minute in and you're like, wow, I need to shift. Make it comfortable. Get it on as much height as you need. Maybe take the calves, hold on to them, push them down into the side, and then sit back. Maybe even finding the flesh of the seat and pulling it to the side. Sorry, the notifications in my other window are open. And then if you want, once you find your comfortable seat, maybe finding some tilt and tuck in the pelvis. If you can't find movement here in the pelvis, just a gentle movement. It doesn't have to be a super huge range of motion, but if we could get a good range of motion, that would be ideal. Sit yourself on more height. Sit yourself on more height. In theory, like we're working towards being in any position, just about any position, and finding hip mobility. Can we still have range of motion in the hips? We're not locking things up. We're trying to make movement, and we're trying to find places and spaces where we can direct that movement, that pranic energy. Find your way to a neutral spine and a neutral pelvis. If you want to palpate where your ribs and hips are in space, maybe back of hand, maybe front of ribs, maybe a little soften downward. Maybe a little soften downward. So I feel my low back lengthening. It's a feeling of my tailbone going long. My navel turning on a little bit. And my ribs softening in like on an exhale. Very gentle. Doesn't have to be super muscle bound like hollow body. If you want to roll the shoulders gently up, back, and down a few times, that's great. And then find a place of stillness here, and whether the eyes are open or closed, take the gaze downward over your nose. Close out the window. Start to feel what you feel. And do that without judgment. It's like, what is happening in your legs today? Is there an emotional something happening? Be easy with yourself here today. So really being tasked with listening in. So if that means taking even a stretch, say even down dog, maybe backing off a little bit, maybe taking a softer version of the pose. Take a softer version of the pose. If you're ready, start to take your Ujjayi pranayama, the aspirant sound in the back of the throat. Make sure the teeth are separated, no tension in the jaw. And just come into feeling how your inhales are interacting with exhale and vice versa. Are they equal length and depth? Samavriti. Have you taken Visamavriti, unequal length breath? Definitely being conscious if there's more action, more depth on the inhale. This is the opposite of what we want to be cultivating here. Emphasis on an inhale brings more tension, brings that nervous feeling of dis-ease. And if you really took it to an extreme, you work your way towards hyperventilating. Nervous system feels too kicked on. Calm the nervous system down. Lengthen the exhale. And just see what space you can create here with the breath. And if you're still feeling a sense of heightened nervous system, maybe a little tension, that stress moment in the shoulders, drop your awareness and your breath down into your belly and poof out the belly with your breath. Poof out the sideways. As you exhale, soften in towards the spine. See if you can let the seat get heavy, but the pelvic floor lift up and encourage that lift up in length, that energetic action along the whole spine. Feel the top of the skull reach farther towards the ceiling. Should be a sense of ease with that. And then practicing full round of pranayama here. I'll send out some counts here in a moment, but go with a count that feels good to you. We're eventually maybe working towards whatever count on inhale. Hold that same count. Exhale that count. Hold the breath out. Breath retention. So maybe eventually we work that way. But if anything, 4 counts in, gentle hold at the top of the breath, 4 counts out, gentle hold at the bottom of the breath. Big inhale. Exhale everything out. Long, wide inhale. Take your time at getting to the top. Pause at the top of the breath. Hold the breath in. Exhale. Take your time getting to the bottom of the breath. Slowly let the breath out. Hold at bottom of breath. Repeat. Inhale. Resist the urge to let the breath rush in. If that's happening, take a shorter hold. Hold at the top of the breath. Maybe squeeze pelvic floor up. Maybe a little Jalandhara Bandha, chin into the chest, back the neck long. Release that chin lock, exhale slowly. Pause at the bottom of the breath. Hold the breath out. Take a few rounds on your own. Really noticing the quality of the breath as it comes in and out, and noticing what happens in those spaces of pause. What does that feel like? Is there an ease that exists? After your next exhale, let that breath control go. Bring your hands together at the heart, push the palms together, thumbs into the chest. Set an intention here for your practice. What do you wish to create or receive with your time on your mat? And that could be something not even having to do with the physical practice here for the next 90 minutes. It's something that you've been working on. What seeds are you planting for this new moon, for springtime? What do you wish to cultivate? Not just today, but over time. Exhale everything out. Take a big inhale. Maybe as you slowly open your eyes, you see a Charlie in front of you. Hi, baby boy. And when you're ready, gently release the hands. Maybe you want to go lay on your bed. And then as you're ready, come forward to hands and knees, stretch out the legs, one leg and then the other back behind you. And feel free to take a moment here, really tucking the toes and sitting the heel back in space. So doing the opposite of how we just had the legs. Notice how the hands are on the floor. Notice the collarbones, keep them wide. Notice if there's a deep back bend happening in the back. Lift the belly up and in. Try to find a neutral spine. So taking that action on one side, take that action on the other side. Whatever you do, breathe it out. Maybe take some side sweeps here with the seat. With the rib cage, moving one side to the other side. And then if you want to exaggerate that, even take the head and the tailbone like you could touch them together. But take any back bend out of the spine. So it's a pure side bend. Take any rounding of the back out of the spine. So it's a pure side bend. Even if you want to continue exaggerating it, I'll get the birds out here in a moment. Take the toes to the side. So if you're sweeping the toes to the side, you'll be able to see them out of the corner of your eye. Take one more action of whatever you're doing. Tuck the toes, send the seat up and back, and pedal out the feet. Breathe here. Few more breaths. One more exhale. So I'll take a few salutations, but then we'll take just a mild cardio moment. Need to do the opposite of what the majority of us have been doing. It's a little more sitting than usual. Trying to squeeze that out of the body. Tiptoe the feet forward. Find a forward fold at the top of the mat. On an inhale, come halfway up. Maybe bend the knees here. Exhale, fold, take the chest to the thighs. Do that a couple more times. Maybe 2 fists worth of space in between the big toes. Exhale, fold. Inhale, last one, coming up halfway. Maybe today, taking your ring finger and your pinky finger, framing the shin, turning the thumb out to the side, and then physically pulling the shin skin up as the chest moves forward. Hollow the belly up. Breathe here. Send weight forward in the toes. Drop the shoulder blades down the back. But now more action of that exhale. Feeling of the ribs pulling in. Spread the heels wide. Pressing them down and into the floor and wide, finding an internal rotation at the top of the thigh. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, top of mat, arms above you. And then exhale, hands down by your side, Samastitihi. On your next inhale, windmill the arms up, see up. Exhale, fold, plant the hands beside the feet. Inhale, come halfway up. Plant the hands, step or float back, find your plank pose. Hang out here, breathe. If chaturanga is a part of your practice and you'd like to take it, do it. I am still babying a little bit of this grumpy shoulder over here, so I will be modifying with the knees down. Next, exhale, lower yourself all the way to the floor. But even if you're modifying, don't let the belly be first. Roll shoulders up, back, and down. Let's take some surprise abdominal work here, some spinal manipulation. Try to lift the chest up as much as possible. Slide the elbows forward. See if you can land straight away without too much wiggling. Wiggle if you need to. Press the tops of the feet down, lift the kneecaps, lengthen the low belly up, pull the chest forward. Find the arch of the spine. On an exhale, eyeballs lead, pull chin into the chest, start to see chest, start to see navel. And then around the upper back, the mid back, maybe even the low back. On an inhale, unfurl. Let the eyeballs come up last. Exhale. Chin into chest, round the back. Inhale, unfurl, lift up. Exhale. Round the back, press elbows into the floor. If the seat starts to lift, it's only because the back is rounding so much and the abdominals are lifting so much. The pelvis has to lift. Take 1 or 2 more rounds. And then the next time you find your way into this surprise abdominal moment, hang out and hold. Breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unfurl. Squeeze the upper back. Try to leave the chest up. Plant the hands behind the shoulders. Low cobra, high cobra, or up dog, but pull the chest forward. Pause here. Shoulders up, back, and down. Do that a couple times. Maybe take them forward, up towards the ears, back, and squeeze. Forward, up towards the ears, back, squeeze, and down. Forward, up towards the ears, back, squeeze, and down. Then what happens if you do that rib cage action of a little exhale of the low ribs, but keep puffing up the chest? Exhale, make your way back, down dog. It should make a very long back bend feeling and not of a dumping of the back bend into the low back. Breathe here. Big inhale. Big exhale. Press the fingertips forward and down. Send the weight back into the heels. It's less about the heels coming to the floor. If you're walking forward, step forward with the other foot. Jump if you like. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing seat-up. Exhale, hands down by your side. Samasthiti. Inhale, lift the arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. It does not matter if the palms touch. It does matter that the neck is easy. Exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana. Weight in the toes. Inhale, halfway up. Ardha Uttanasana. How long is the spine? Plant the hands. If you're stepping back, step back with the other foot. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, shoulders up, back, and down. Low cobra, high cobra, or up dog. The elbows are straight, the thighs are off the floor. And you take another breath here and do that rib action in, but still plant feet. Maybe pelvis if it's on the floor and send the chest up. Exhale back, down dog. Breathe here. 3, 2, 1. Little hamstring moment. If you ever need a rest, take it. I'm not going to cue it so much. Lift one leg up. Keep the pelvis parallel. The toes parallel to the floor. Exhale it down. Inhale, lift the other leg up. Exhale it down. Keep switching. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Keep sending the finger pads forward and down. Try to get the weight a little bit out of the wrists. The next time that left leg comes up or the second leg comes up, let that be the last one. Exhale everything out in your down dog. And then step or jump the feet forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, come all the way up, seat up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Let's do 2 more on our own. Full salutation. If you're ready for chaturanga, take it. Inhale, lift up. Once you get to your down dog, you'll take a few breaths there. And then make your way up to the top of the mat for the second round. Whatever you do, go with your breath. Elbows squeeze in as you lower down. Belly is lifting, very much so. Chaturanga is a very challenging position. On an inhale action, the eyes usually lift. On an exhale action, eyes usually lower. It does not necessarily mean that there's a shift in the neck when that happens. Breathe. After you've taken a few breaths in your down dog, take one more. If your breath is a little bit slower than mine, that's okay. But probably start on your last Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salute A, sometime soon. And breathe here. 3. Seat up and back. 2. Shin, skin, kneecaps are lifting as the heels reach down. Again, that does not necessarily mean that the heels come to the floor. Inner part of the hand is flat to the floor. The heads of the shoulders are wrapping wide into the armpit towards the front of the chest. Wrap it around. Got to get myself some knee fluff. So if you need some knee fluff, maybe grab that now. And then in the next moments, lower the knees down. And probably find your blocks at the front of the mat. Find your blocks at the front of the mat. Moving slow here through a few standing poses. And maybe kicking it up a notch. Oh, our cardio moment from your down dog. Bring the knees back to the floor with your blocks at the front, maybe your knee fluff here to the side. Check out the cardio moment. You can take this at any tempo you like. I'm going to go kind of at a medium tempo. We start in essentially a hovering tabletop, a very active tabletop, and we kick the leg across. So we'll have opposite hand and foot to the floor. My feet will need to swivel. My feet will need to swivel. So if you need to see it, coming to that active tabletop, I'll kick maybe the right leg across the body. I come back to neutral, I kick the left. Standing leg turns out, bottom leg is strong, inner thigh is active. I bring it back to that floating tabletop, not to a down dog. So I'm trying to stay active here, all the major muscle groups. It's gonna kick our heart rate up. Keep your navel in. We're gonna try 4-10. I believe in you. Ready, get set, go. Right leg kicks across. Inhale, center. Exhale, left leg. Center. Breath is a little bit faster. That'll also help the heart rate kick up. You can drop the butt low as you come across, or you can keep the butt high. Either way, thighs are still working. I'm trying to do the opposite, all the sweet treats Parker keeps bringing home. Why do I keep eating them? I don't know. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hang out in your down dog. Breathe. Inhale. Big exhale. Rotate and plant your right foot 45 degrees. So the toes point essentially toward that top right corner of the mat. If possible, heel to the floor. Maybe that means you need to bend your right knee. If possible, maybe you straighten it. They hang out here, that one foot turned out, and the one foot parallel. Now start to take more weight in that right foot. Lift the left leg up. Stack the hip, but keep the shoulders square. Breathe it out here. Finding maybe some stability here. I find opposites again. So if my right foot is down, Maybe my right hand can come light and out to the side. This is courtesy of Rich Logan. You can thank him. Then if I find my balance super steady, maybe I reach right hand for right thigh, calf, ankle, but don't lose the wrapping of the left arm. Don't lose the square of the chest. Keep lifting that left leg high. Then plant the hands if it's not down already. Take the left knee into the chest. Lead that back heel down. Step forward. Maybe heel to heel alignment, maybe wider. Come up, find your warrior two. You might need to scoot your front foot a little farther forward. But find knee right over second toe. Find your thigh parallel to the outer edge of your mat. Find a feeling of the left hip pulling back, squaring things out, and the right thigh also pulling back towards the wall behind you. Left hip pulling back towards the back of your mat. Right thigh pulling back towards the wall behind you. Get width here at the front of the pelvis. Then any amount, bend down deep into your warrior two. Take the arms out to the side. Maybe for a second here, make a jazz hand. Push a hand to the wall beside you or in front of you and behind you, and take the fingernails back toward the forearm. Shoulders back and down. Exhale, ribs in. Maybe sink a little bit deeper. Maybe you look towards your back hand. How's the neck doing? Exhale. Maybe look toward your front hand. Exhale. Option here. The hip still continues to go back. The hip shifts like you're turning a steering wheel, and now my tailbone is going towards the back heel. Maybe my forearm comes to the floor. Here's where maybe my hand comes to my block. Any height. If the hand easily comes to the floor, maybe put it on something today. See what that feels like. And then lean the chest, the arm back to the inside of the leg. Can you still pull the thigh back to the wall behind you? Can you still lengthen the tailbone long and take any back bending out of the spine? Arm long on the diagonal or straight up. If you want a little shoulder moment, you could reach back behind you for hip, for inner left thigh, but keep the back bend out of the shape. Take one more breath here, and then seeing what you can do to straighten your front leg without moving the bottom arm. How did it go? If the bottom leg does not come straight with the hand where it is, lift your height up to a higher height, make it straight. Breathe here. 3. Open not just from the shoulder, but from actually the back foot. Outer blade presses down. Knee, hip, belly button, whole pelvis opens, but that front knee stays stable, reaching over your second toe. You should feel the chest open. It should actually be easier to look the face up, barring any neck injury. Chin a little bit into chest. Take one more breath here. Exhale, plant the hand either side of the foot. Get the block out of the way, but keep it close. Bring yourself back towards plank pose. Feel what you feel in between the sides of the legs. Exhale, lower yourself down. Inhale, pull the heart forward. Skip it if you need to. Exhale back, down, up. Doing the other side. Rotate and plant the left foot. Toes turn out. Right foot stays parallel. Maybe the left leg needs to bend. Keep sending. Seat up and back. Pressing the fingertips forward and down. In the next moment, start to lift the right leg up. Stack the hips, but square the shoulders. Breathe here. Separate the heels. Keep wrapping the right arm. And with that left leg down, maybe the left fingertips become light. Maybe you can reach back for the back leg. Maybe that bind on the leg helps the heels separate even more. Breathe here. Big inhale. Big exhale. Keep the back foot down. Send the knee into the chest. Pull the foot forward. See if you can get toe tips to line up with fingertips without lifting the hand up off the floor. Sometime soon, bring yourself up to warrior two. Virabhadrasana. Probable heel-to-heel alignment. Set your front thigh parallel with the side of your mat. Notice if that takes this back hip, this left hip farther forward. That's okay. Start to pull that left thigh back as you keep the right knee wide. This time, turn the fingertips to point down. Let's actually squeeze something in all of our fingertips, like you're trying not to drop it, and then squeeze the fingertips towards the forearm, palm facing down. Stay in your warrior two. Pull the belly in, press out through the back of the wrist. See your back hand. Take a big inhale here. Exhale. See the front hand, big inhale here. Heads or shoulders wide. Exhale. If you want to feel the tilt of the hip, hold on to your hip bones at the front of the pelvis, your ASIS bone, and feel the right hip dip down as the left hip dips up. Take your side angle, any amount, forearm to the thigh, or if you used the block on the first side, use the block on the second side. Arm and knee press into one another. Take the back bend action out of the spine here. Little softness of the ribs in. Shift the block down to a lower height if that was a thing you did on the first side. Shoulder blades down the back of the neck long. Take the arm in a similar place you did first side. Maybe you took the shoulder variation behind the back, but don't let that take you into back bend. Back leg is still strong here. Take one more breath. And then see what you can do to straighten the front leg, keeping the spine long, hand flat. If that didn't work out, lift the block higher. And then rotate from the back foot. Open, press into the outer left foot. Open the knee, the shin, the hip. Keep rotating, though, the right knee away from left. Very important. Don't let that knee float over or in front, inside the right big toe. Keep external rotation. Breathe here. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, plant hand on either side of foot. Get your block out of the way. Step back. As we go maybe a little bit slow here today, like what can you feel? What can you refine? What's happening in the body? How is it connecting? Exhale back, down dog. How's the quality of your breath within all of this? Breathe. 3, 2, 1. And then step or jump forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Seat up. Exhale, hands down by your side. Get taller. Samasthiti heat. Okay, next chronic leg opener. You can also thank Rich Logan for this one. Coming to stand at the top of your mat. Feel free to face your screen so you can see. I'll cue for the right leg lifting. I can have my strap close if I like, if it's hard to hold on to the big toe in Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Or I can hold on to my thigh, my towel, or the big toe if I can find it. So, little strength moment here first. I'll take the knee forward, cueing for the right knee. Right arm goes to the inner thigh, shoulder blade back and down. I push the knee wide to the side. I keep pushing the leg and the arm together. I press down, I get strong through my standing seat, my whole leg, and then push the wall away, opposite you. Soften the ribs in and breathe here. Remember when I said we were going to do opposite of sitting down in chair asana? It's okay if it feels challenging. So here's where maybe you put your strap over your shoulder. Forgot to mention that. And find your strap. Maybe you find your big toe. Maybe you just hold on to the thigh and kick the leg towards straight. Drop the seat, lift the foot, strong standing leg. Feel free to play with the floating arm. And breathe. Maybe on the exhales, that floating foot can move closer to this top hand like one day it could touch. Even if it feels 5,000 miles away. Okay, getting the back of the leg to do work here. I'm gonna let go and come into Vikrasana. So maybe without using the hands, I can get the foot higher. Oh, hey, that's the highest it's gone all week. Okay, I'm not gonna move my foot because it actually did crest the knee joint, came above it. If it's right beside the knee joint, pop the foot down to the calf. Keep pressing the knee wide to the side. You just don't want to press on the side of the knee joint because that is not a way the knee moves. It moves forward and back. Squeeze here. Take the hands in a place that feels good. Don't forget to breathe. Big inhale. Exhale. Send the foot down. Y'all, that was so exciting. I've never been able to squeeze my foot up that high before using the back of my leg. And then just notice how your feet feel on the floor here. That one leg probably feels nice and wide and open, that chronic opening. The other leg probably feels super sturdy. Doing the other side. Let's see what happens for this hamstring. It might be a completely different story. Take the knee wide out to the side. Press the hand and the thigh together, but encourage the thigh wide. Drop the seat, lift the navel, soften the rib cage in, shoulder blades down the back. Push the wall away from you, opposite. Breathe here. Exhale. Do one more. And we'll take a little flow after this. Hold on to what you can hold on to. Get your strap-like situation. Helpful not to move your eyes around. Squeeze the leg towards straight. Drop the seat, lift the heel, maybe bend the top elbow. Maybe reach this top arm up. Dita Hasta, Padangustasana, standing hand to big toe. It's happening for the mind right now, for the emotions. Can you stick with it? Be that strong, steady movement in the storm. Without using the hands, squeeze yourself into tree pose. See what happens. Crested the knee. So exciting. You saw it here first. Send the knee wide to the side. Push the leg and the thigh together. Take the hands in a place that feels good. Vikrasana. Tree pose. Foot spreads wide and down. There's a downward energy, but also an upward energy. Also lateral energy. Also a squeezing in front to back. Exhale, put that foot down. Hopefully we've evened things out from side to side. Stepping to the back, top of the mat. If you haven't been there already, inhale, lift the arms up. Get long in your low back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up. Step or float the hand, or the feet back, not the hands. Exhale, lower yourself all the way down or halfway. Inhale, lift the chest up, your back bend. Exhale back, down dog. Breathe here, feel what you feel. Keeping your knee fluff close, your blocks close. Step it forward. Right foot forward. Come to a crescent warrior. Scoot the back toes farther back. Get your blocks close. Inhale. Keep the seat low. Lift the chest up. Can you exhale? Again, a softening of the ribs in. Lift the ribs up. Drop the seat down. As you feel the bones of the pelvis dropping, press the feet down. Lift up. The soft parts of the pelvis, the muscular actions of the pelvis. Ribs in, lift them up. Maybe lift the arms up. 3, 2, 1. Plant your hands to your blocks. Keep the back toes up or the back heel up for now. Squeeze your front leg straight. Give yourself a little more height than you might normally. And if you don't have blocks or something that you can walk forward out in front of you, I had a student use those OXO or however you say it, canisters. They're like the perfect height. If you have those IKEA canisters, maybe you can also get them at Target. At any rate, pyramid pose here. Right hip pulls back or your front hip pulls back. You could even use side of couch here to lengthen out the arms, a chair, whatever you have to find some lift, some height, some length of the spine. Find hamstring opening here. It's also a lot of arm work happening. It's still the same arm work as down dog. The pointy part of the elbow, the tricep is pointing down, the bicep is lifting up. Take one more breath here, easy neck. Walk the hands back, strong legs. Exhale, maybe you need your knee fluff, lower the back knee down. Anjaneyasana here, back toes pointed or tucked. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, find your twist. Maybe hold on right hand for right thigh. Push in towards the midline and squeeze across the chest. Tricep for outer thigh. Maybe it's just the elbow for outer thigh. Things are going really well. Maybe I send my forearm, length of IT band. Maybe opposite arm can come around and hold on to the front of my pants. As I find that bind, then I can open up the top shoulder. Maybe I can even wiggle my bottom hand underneath the thigh. But do something. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Plant the hands inside the foot. Maybe you want your hands inside the foot to your blocks. Turn your front toe out. Let the seat fold forward and down. Notice if your right foot is forward, left foot is back. Does that left hip want to do all the work to come to the floor, or can you get both sides of the hip bones to come to the floor equally? Can you pull the hands back on whatever they're binding on and lift the chest up? Take one more breath here. Exhale. Reach, opposite hand back, so right hand back for left foot. Maybe I stay here, foot on floor. Maybe I squeeze heel into seat. Maybe I find the bind. Maybe I pull the heel into the seat. Maybe I even square the chest and the pelvis back towards the front of my mat. Maybe I fold forward. Maybe you take the lazy yogis version. I have my left shoulder hooked on my block. It's a nice moment of relief. I can focus on my left quad. Exhale. Inhale, lift yourself back up. And then taking lizard lunge. Wiggle your right foot in a little bit. Start to take the right hand behind. And then you might need to take your knee fluff with you. Lift your back leg up and scoot it quite a few times until you have this half pigeon, half split. Wiggle your foot in line with the center line of the body, the nose, the center, the chest, the belly button. Let the knee flop out to the side. If you need to, take your blocks with you. Knee flops. You can swing side to side. But try to get both sides of the pelvis again to move towards the floor equally. Lift the chest or maybe find a forward fold. Just 5 counts here. Long exhales. Hold on to the essential parts of the pose that help keep the integrity of the pose. But what else can you let go of? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wiggle yourself back, hands, wiggle the knee or the foot wide. Walk the back knee forward. Plant the hands either side of the foot. Step back. Plank pose. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, back, down dog. Feel what you feel in between sides. Send your left foot forward. Wiggle the right toes back. Pause here for a moment. Square the hips. Left hip pulls back. As you come up to your crescent lunge, maybe palpate the hip bones here and notice if one hip likes to dip to the floor more than the other. Keep them parallel to the floor and to the front of the mat. Breathe it out here. Pull the ribs in, lift them up. Drop the seat. Pull the belly in, ribs in, lift ribs up. Drop the seat, arms up. 3, 2, 1. Plant the hands, keep the back heel high. Squeeze into this variation of pyramid pose. If you need to activate the front leg a little bit more, you have a tendency to lock back into the knee. Slight bend in the knee and lift your front toes, all 5 of them off the floor. Press down through the front ball mound of the foot. As you come forward, especially if you're pretty hypermobile, can you keep the rib cage, the belly away from the thigh? A strong, almost plank-like feeling, a flying down dog-like feeling. Keep wrapping in the arms. 3, 2, 1. Make your way back. And then exhale, slowly lower the knee to the floor, back toes tucked or pointed. Send the pelvis forward and down. Reach the right arm long or whatever arm up so you can take your twist. Maybe the left hand pushes into the left thigh. Find your twist here. Pelvis moving forward and down. Belly lifting up and out of the way. Maybe hands at prayer. Maybe hand to the outer part of the IT band. Maybe even holding on to your clothes outside of hip. Maybe you can see this time I'm reaching for the front waistband of my pants. I find it, I hold on to it, and I roll my top shoulder open. Maybe don't grab your pants so hard you hear the stitching rip. That was fun. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Gently unwind. Maybe move the blocks to inside the foot. Turn the toes slightly out and send the pelvis forward and down. Lift the belly and the chest up. Both sides of the pelvis coming forward and down evenly. Breathe here. Big inhale. Big exhale. Opposite arm as back foot reaches up and back. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you bend the heel in. Maybe you can find the toe. Find the toe, though, without lifting the butt up and back. Keep the pelvis moving forward. It's going to make it more real for the front of the thigh. That's okay. Maybe pull the heel into the seat. Maybe forward fold. Maybe take a lazy yogi moment and set your shoulder on something. And by lazy, I really mean supported. Get supported in the way that you need. We all could use a little more support here. I've been finding so interesting, inhale, lift yourself up. As a person who likes to do so much, usually wiggle your back knee up and back a bunch of times. Make that long lizard lunge moment. Wiggle your left foot to the center of the mat. Let the knee flop out to the side. He's finding this balance between this epic calling to slow down and be supported, but also still get that energy out that I need to get out. Being a dancing, active human being, it's been a fascinating back and forth. Maybe fold forward. Maybe take the face to the foot. 5 very long, deep breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Unwind. Start to make your way back out through the lunge. Send your way back through a vinyasa. And we'll meet in down dog. Connect with your breath. And breathe it out. All right, I'm going to turn to face you, but make your way to a wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padasana. So if I were to stick my hands out and point my fingertips down, my fingertips, little laser beams, would shoot straight in line with the ankles. Hold on to the pelvis, puff up, but do that action of dropping tailbone down, hollowing ribs in, push down on the pelvis, puff the heart, not forward, up, and then see about squeezing the elbows back. I'm using a little traction on the back of the pelvis with my hands, pressing down. Firm up the thighs if they aren't already. Get the pose to happen from the ground up. Take one more breath here, feeling this width along the front of the chest, the length of the whole torso. Just hinge at the hip. Now so much weight in the toes and take that shape forward. If the hands don't easily come to the floor, get your blocks. Set them on any height that you need to for the spine to be supported here. Breathe. So if my spine starts to round, I've gone too far into the hinge, into the fold. My heels I don't physically push them up and move them wide and pigeon toe the feet, but I actively push the heels wide to feel an internal rotation at the top of the thighs so I can feel a width at the back of the pelvis. It should feel very good. If things are going uber well, my hamstrings are like, cool, this is great. I start to walk the hands back in between the feet, like I'm coming to tripod headstand. My spine is still long. If the head easily comes to the floor, maybe walk your feet a little bit closer or maybe start to look the head through the legs, up towards the seat. It's not just the head that's moving through, it's actually the ribs allowing the head to move through, and then firm up the thighs and hollow out the belly. Keep pressing the hands forward and down. Shoulders away from the face. Breathe. Take one more breath here. And then inhale, lift your way up if you're deep in the fold. Exhale, hands to the floor or your blocks. Okay. If your inner thigh is already like, wow, things are really happening here, you're going to rinse and repeat what we just did. If you want to go on a journey with your inner thigh, maybe you need 1 foot off the mat, 1 foot on the mat, and maybe you want your knee fluff. Taking a half split here. The knee fluff knee comes down to the mat, the other foot comes out to the side, and then wiggle it. Maybe you need blocks underneath hands. You might be able to see that my back is bending into a back bend. Don't back bend. Keep the low back long. It's going to shift what's happening in the inner thigh. Hang out here. I see a chat moment. And breathe. 3, 2, sweet thumbs up. 1. Okay, unwind a little bit. And then find the other foot. So you could just flip yourself around or come to the other side. The other knee comes to the floor, other foot off the side of the mat. Moving into like Ardha Samkonasana, half split here. My thighs are parallel in one long line with the edge of my mat. So I can use my eyes to gauge how that's going. Probably don't flex your bent knee, foot. Probably keep it pointed. Lift the belly in and breathe. 3, 2, One, slowly make your way back in. You have the option of coming back to Prasarita Padottanasana, that wide-legged forward fold, of doing the asymmetrical version one more time, or coming to full Samakhanasana, side split. Probably 1 foot on your mat, 1 foot off the mat. If you're running out of space, you can fold your mat over, ground 1 foot, wiggle and slide the other. If you come close to the floor, hands come to a chaturanga-like position. And breathe. Maybe chin and chest come to the floor. 5, I believe in you. 4, not a probable time to go get a drink of water. Try to stick with it. 3, 2, 1. Push down with the hands. Wiggle the feet back in. All the way underneath the pelvis. Hang out here for a moment. And then taking essentially like counter pose. Turning a little to the side so you can see. Blocks underneath hands is a great idea. Right leg in front of. Big bend in the right knee. The left leg might bend a little bit. Maybe put more hands or more height underneath your hands so you can get the left leg straighter. And drop with the right leg in front, the right hip towards the floor. See if you can get a long outer left hip and leg line stretch. Shake the head yes and no. Exhale. Unwind that with the left leg in front. Probable gentle bend of the left leg. See what you can do about straightening the right. And what about dropping the left hip towards the floor? It's not going to move a lot. It just might feel like a micro movement. But what can that do to open up the side body here? You might already be like, yes, I am feeling that. I do not need to make an action of dropping the hip towards the floor. Big inhale. Big exhale. Unwind, top of mat. Plant hands to the floor. Step the feet back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, back, down dog. Okay, coming to your seat, taking active chest opening here and range of motion actions. So we'll take a seated straddle. So like chill variation of what we just did. It doesn't have to be a super wide straddle. If it's hard for the spine to be long, so you come to your seated straddle and the tailbone is tucked. It's hard to get super tall here. Put height underneath butt. Sit on edge of chair, cushion, even the edge of your couch. Flex the feet really hard. It's less about the legs here so much, more about length of spine and how we can laterally open the chest here. Take the arms out wide. Turn the palms to face up. And instead of bending from the shoulders, shoulder heads back and down. It's like someone has a little string on the bottom of your shoulder blade pulling down. Can you widen the shoulder heads, not the wrists, the shoulder heads away from the center of the chest? So probably already feels like work. Flex the feet super hard, press the heels into the floor. Keeping one palm facing up. Maybe the right arm comes across. Try to touch your elbow. I'm still shocked that I can't touch my elbow here. Make a fist. Pull the string of your bow back really firm. Turn the palm up once you get there and take a moment with fist. See if you made more range of motion. Try to touch elbow. See, so far away. Hold on to the bow. Pull it back real strong. But I feel things happening in my body. Hold on to the fist for a moment and then turn the palm up and repeat. The exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. 2 more. And then release whatever you have going on with the shoulders. Give them a wiggle. Bring the feet together out in front of you. Reach forward, find your forward fold. If your feet feel like they're really far away, you can bend the knees and hold on to the toes, or you can get yourself a strap, something to hold on with. As you take your forward fold, I am going to shift the camera view. We're going to get a moment of hi, Charlie. We're going to come to the wall. So, finding a hamstring moment over here. Inhale, lift halfway up if you're in your fold. Exhale, release. And bring yourself over to a wall space. This will also work on edge of couch. It'll just be a little bit different if you don't have something for the foot to bind on. Maybe find a door that you're certain no one is going to open. Before we hang out with the leg up, come away from the wall a little bit. Find your Navasana. Pull the thighs back down and in the sockets, hollow out the belly and puff up the chest. Hang out here and breathe. Little belly work. Feel the length of your spine. We're going to keep the length of the spine here as we take the legs up the wall in a moment. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower down. Just one boat pose today. Both sides of the butt on the floor. Take one leg up the wall, other leg can just be bent in. Point the toes. Keep pulling the hip down. Keep pulling the thigh into the socket, but reach the toes up the wall and use the hands back behind you to keep the chest lifted and long. Use your belly strength to also keep the chest lifted and long. Well, so like in theory, could I let go of the hands behind me and my chest doesn't move at all? I'm not going to give that a go today, or a theory test. And then as you feel the hamstring opening, keeping the chest long and tall, you scoot the butt closer to the wall, the leg lifts up. Keep trying to take the toes to the wall, point the foot. Keep pulling the outer hip. So if I have my left leg up the wall, my outer left thigh pulls back and down. I can even spend a moment here and make life really fun, turning the pinky toe to the wall and externally rotating the leg. But don't go into pain here. Find sensation, stick with it. Breathe. Maybe could you do another scoot or two? Last 5 counts. 5, 4, 3, both sides of the butt weighted on the floor. 2, 1. Keep the same leg up the wall. Turn yourself out to the side now. Take your arm inside the thigh. You might have to come farther away from your couch, from the wall. Hook the heel. You will have external rotation here. So that same Utthita Hasta position we had, similar here. I'll pull the standing leg in any amount. I can use this arm, kind of like we did the arm earlier in the standing version of the pose, to press into the thigh and lift up long. Keep dropping the butt down. And breathe. And same situation here. If things go really well, over the course of a few breaths, if you can scoot the butt closer to whatever you're bound on, scoot the butt closer to whatever you're bound on. And breathe. Keep trying to drop the butt. Keep trying to reach out through the toes. And by all means, stay here, but maybe last 5 counts, you can pull the leg away from the wall and you can find opposite hand to foot. Like we imagined we could do upright. Maybe I can find that here, seated. Breathe. Maybe I just hold on with same arm. And I hang out here. This is also great. 3, 2, 1, gentle release. Shake it out. Drop the knee to the side. Feel what you feel. And get ready for the other side. pelvis square to whatever is in front of you. Hands close behind you. Point the toes. Outer hip. So I'm cueing for the right leg now. Whatever outer hip pulls back and down. Scoot forward towards the wall as you can. Keep lifting the chest. Are you checking out while this is happening? Be maybe a bit more still. Or can you check in? What's going on with your breath quality? What's going on with maybe some small alignment cues? But maybe even more important, what about your intention for practice? Come back to that. Hold that in the mind. Challenging the mind to stay present. It's a resiliency practice. It's what we all really need right now. Turn the toes out, the thigh out if that was your option, and lift up. How can we every day rinse ourselves anew, but even every moment, taking the hard stuff in, but still coming back to center. Having those challenging conversations. Slowly unwind, turn yourself out to the side. Until I get my lazy cameraman to work over here a little bit more, I'm just going to be facing away from you. And drop the seat, lift the toe. Squeeze arm to inner thigh and puff up the chest. A little bit different way to work towards leg behind the head. Things like sundial. By all means, stay here. You can hold on, same hand to foot or whatever you have. Take the foot away. Or if things are going really well, holding on to opposites. Ooh, grumpy shoulder is grumpy. Breathe. 3, 2, 1, gentle release. That's also good for working the hip and hamstring and outer hip opening for other arm balances like Eka Pada Kundinasana, that flying split position. Okay. Trying to think if I want to do this one more thing or if we should move towards more closing poses. Let's move towards more closing poses. So coming back to your mat if you're not already close there. Getting a little tour of the home studio. Maybe hear the sweet sounds of Charlie squeezing. So coming back to your mat. And then get your strap or your TheraBand close if it's not already. Let's come to a cross-legged position here. So if you have a lotus moment in your hips, you can take a lotus moment. If you want to stack the shins, great. Or just take a simple cross-legged position where you can keep the spine super long. If you're using the strap or TheraBand, I'll take it over the left shoulder for now. Last little shoulder opening moment before we take a reclined twist. If you're using the strap, you'll bind less close hand to hand. So as you extend the arms, since you don't have the tension of the TheraBand, right, you can extend the arms straight. The strap will come taut, okay, if you're using a non-rubber band-like moment. Rubber band-like moment over the left shoulder. Left arm comes back behind you. I kid. Left shoulder, right arm comes back behind you. Left arm comes elbow in towards the face and then up and back. You can do this one arm at a time, or we can go both arms same time. I squeeze either one arm or both arms straight, and then I come back in as slow and controlled as possible. Elbow comes in, up and back. Upper arm stays close to the ear and the face. Exhale. Inhale, squeeze one at a time straight or both. Exhale. I have a shoulder, this grumpy shoulder, it's rinsing out, so you might be seeing it shake like a leaf. Exhale, if things are going well, maybe you can scoot closer if you have the TheraBand. Squeeze, elbows straight. Maybe eventually both upper arms go behind the line of the torso. Squeeze straight and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, slowly unwind. Take that to the side. And then keep whatever leg you have in front or on top. If you want to make it more of a hip opening moment, deepen the stretch, great. Shift it somehow. Find your forward fold. Breathe here. There's multiple different ways you can support here, especially if you're having knee pain. One way to support if you're having knee pain is to put more height underneath your butt so that the hip is taking the stretch and the fold, not the knee joint. You can also put something in between this foot and knee here or the floor. You also just might need to come up and out of the fold a little bit and work on lengthening the spine and getting the stretch to go into the hip, not the low back or the knee taking the stress of the stretch. Take one more breath wherever you are. Exhale fully and very slowly. Slowly make your way up. Put the other leg in front on top, whatever cross leg position you have. And then taking the other shoulder moment. Right arm, elbow up, strap over right shoulder, left hand behind the back. Squeeze any amount of straight so that your strap becomes taut or your TheraBand stretches. Exhale, squeeze it back in. How's your shoulder? That internally rotated arm, that arm that goes down by the waist. Is that head of shoulder coming towards the center of the chest, or can you keep it open? Someone still has that tiny string they're pulling on your left shoulder blade. Maybe do one more active action, pull belly in. And then on your next one, squeeze and hold, breathe. In theory, you could also do this without the TheraBand or the strap, just using active muscle here. Exhale, bring it down and in. Forward fold from here, or load the seat moment, or stacked lock position. Breathe it out. Start to slow down the breath. Can you take even more V-Samavriti like we did beginning of class? Unequal length breath. And then slowly make your way up. Before we recline and get ready for twist and Shavasana, taking one back bend moment of your choice. And maybe that's just a bridge pose here. Doesn't have to be full wheel or anything super wild. Pull the heels into the seat. Taking that long, similar action of the torso. Tailbone goes long, low back goes long, ribs pull in. I keep that as I lift the butt up, thighs and seat activate. I can hold on to the side of my mat. I can clasp the hands behind the back and roll the shoulders. I can place the hands underneath the feet in the amount. I can hold the fronts of the shins with all 5 fingers. But ribs a little bit in, tailbone long. Puff up chest though and widen collarbones. 5, 4, 3, 2. Slowly lower down 1. Maybe take the knees into the chest, rock side to side. And then your favorite reclined twist. Maybe it's just the arms to a T or a goalpost and lowering the knees to one side. Maybe you like to extend one leg or the other, or you'd like to take eagle legs. For right now, I'm taking my right leg up over top the left. Maybe I could bind the right foot behind the left calf. My body is not quite there yet. When I take the knees to the left, I can use the weight of the left leg to help hook the right foot. And then I exhale, I take the right shoulder blade no matter what, and I try to keep it on the floor. Breathe. Big inhale. Exhale. Few more. Just allow it to be okay for you to be here now, a little still. If your mind is like wanting to move, fun little trick I like to do, make your way back towards center, is focus all the movement happening in my breath. Where can I feel the breath moving? How can I feel the breath move? At what rate does the breath work? Find your twist on the other side. I'm just lifting my elbow and bending it. I really have to encourage this side twist. Open gently. And the shoulder, open gently. Breathe here. Unwind the arms, unwind the legs rather. Bring yourself back to center. Maybe the feet to the floor as wide as your mat, the knees knocking in. So getting comfortable here. If you want to keep the feet flat to the floor, that's how your back feels today. Maybe you want to extend the legs. A little low back lengthener here. Before I extend out the legs, I lift the seat, tuck tailbone, put it back down. That makes my shoulders feel like they come forward and up. I press the elbows down, the head down, and I puff up the chest. I squeeze the shoulder blades together and then down the back. I keep that as I plant the chest back to the floor. Then maybe I need to do the seat again, and maybe the shoulders a couple times. Till I feel as flat and wide as possible, as comfortable as possible. Let the pinky toes flap out to the side. Once the legs get straight, you might have to rinse and repeat that action for the pelvis and the low back. Maybe you need some height underneath the thighs. Maybe you want to put your calves, your shins, on the edge of your couch or the edge of a chair. The low back feels tender, or you just need a little more support to feel heavy, to feel easy. Let the mouth fall open. Let the eyes be still behind the lids. Mind needs something to do here. The body part, maybe be as specific as possible. What part of your shoulder are you feeling? Even if you don't know the name of the muscle, can you visualize it? And on every passive exhale, no control over the breath. Can you soften whatever you feel there? Be heavier and wider into the floor. the aspect of the jaw, the belly, fingertips. You can do a whole body scan. Eventually, after a few, maybe letting that go. If the brain can quiet down, it's okay with being still. Keeping your eyes closed. Take little movements of the body or do nothing. If you do something, go with least amount of effort. If you're moving a body part, you just tense that area and nothing else. Trying to stay in that sweet spot, that feeling of relaxation, like right before you wake up or right before you fall asleep. Before the conscious mind really wakes up and takes hold. When you're ready, maybe taking the feet to the floor. If you want to take some windshield wipers on the legs, you can. If you want to take the knees into the chest and give them a squeeze, you can. You can rock straight up to seated, or you can roll to one side and then come up. Take comfortable seat. Maybe taking that transition with eyes closed. Keep the hands together at the heart. Take some long inhales and exhales here now. How does it feel? Check back in with your intention for practice. It really is essentially habit forming, new habit forming, holding something at the forefront of the mind, in the present tense, repeating it until it comes to fruition. Seal whatever that is with one last sound of Om, or the Ah, Om, and of the sound. Exhale everything out. Take a big inhale. Bow your head to your heart, take your hands to your forehead, take all that to the floor. Namaste. Thank you all so much for being here. Scoot close again and put my glasses on. And thanks for going along on this wild ride. I'm starting this with truly no idea what I'm doing on the YouTube. There's lots of buttons and bells and whistles, but just imagine what it'll be when I figure it all out. There's going to be a subscribe button down here. I'll have my logo. Oh, and if you know of anyone who I can hire to do a little logo work for This Yogi Dances, give me a shout. Happy to work out payment. But yeah, thanks for joining me for this Thursday yoga. Emily with This Yogi Dances. There's something else I wanted to say besides like and subscribe. If you want to share, that's great. If you can donate to something cool. If not, I'll see you next time. I'll also be teaching over on Facebook Live with First Ascent Climbing Gyms on Saturday, doing a 9 a.m. yoga, a 10:15 meditation. That's going to happen for the next 5 weeks, and then maybe longer. Who knows? That's all freebies over there on the Facebook Live, and then I'll be back here on Saturday for core. Cool. Thanks. Bye.